Congratulations, you got a Martha's Vineyard oyster, and now we're going to show you how to open them.
One of the very important things in the very beginning is getting the right tools.
A few tools you're going to need are Martha's Vineyard oysters, a shuck knife, a glove, and a towel.
And don't forget, use a glove.
Yeah, if you're inexperienced with this and you haven't done it much, you should definitely wear a glove. When I'm at home, I like to just use a basic kitchen towel and hold that in my hand. That's just an extra layer of protection. And it kind of helps too, just to keep a cleaner, the water drips out, it doesn't make a big mess all over the floor.
So there's a cup side and a flat side on every oyster. What you want to do is shuck with the cup side down. I'm going to go ahead and shuck in my hand rather than in the towel on the table, but if you're new to this, go ahead and shuck on the table with the towel for safety.
And what I do is I take my hand with an overhand grip. I'm going to grab the oyster like this, put it on the table, leaving the oyster like this, so it's at the perfect angle. So a lot of people I see in the beginning casting their arm out like this. I bring this arm right nice and tight to your rib cage, so then you're pushing down like this instead of way out here where you lose a lot of your power.
You're going to go ahead and insert the knife into the hinge until you can let it go like this. Now you know that you're in.
When you do it, you don't want to push it with all your might. If you're doing that, you're doing it wrong. So I like to hold it a little bit closer just to pop the hinge. So I keep my thumb like this. You don't want to push it in too hard. You just wiggle it just a little bit and then just pop it. That's it, just like that.
So the action that I like to describe going into the oyster is just a slow little twist of your wrist. I'm prying the oyster, I'm giving it a little twist, at the same time applying a little pressure.
Keep a consistent pressure and you're going to twist back and forth like this, moving your wrist back and forth and pressing in until you get into the oyster and it pops open just like that.
And then I always remove the knife. You can wipe off any of the mud if there's any on it.
Once you're into the oyster and you see that the knife can slide in and out like this, you're going to want to turn the knife at a 90-degree angle. The objective here is to not cut the belly and keep the meat whole. That's what a good shuck is. It's not scrambled eggs where the meat's all bladdered together and mixed together. You want a nice solid cut that leaves no meat on the top shell. We're simply going to take the knife, angle it up, and we're going to slowly work it along the top shell to cut the abductor muscle.
Once you get right to about there, about halfway, so that's the abductor muscle, and then you just cut that real carefully and then the shell's free, just like that.
After you got the top shell removed, you have to remember to loosen the oyster from the bottom shell. It's the same abductor muscle that you cut on the top, located in the same position. You just cut underneath the meat.
You swipe the abductor muscle, move the oyster around a little bit so you see that it's completely free. Now it's ready for raw burst service. Honestly, by the time you shuck through a couple dozen oysters, you're going to be a semi-pro by then, and you'll be the hit of every party.
So get yourself a bag of oysters now that you have a lesson, and just start practicing. It takes a little bit of time, and thank you for supporting Martha's Vineyard oyster farmers.
We appreciate your business. Thank you.
Check out the website for tips and recipes, and as always, thank you so much for supporting Martha's Vineyard oyster farmers.